Do you believe that you are fearfully and wonderfully made? It's true, friend. Join us today on Life After Choice and take hold of all that the Lord has declared you to be. Hi, my name is Antionette Duck. Welcome to Life After Choice. In this series, we're going to be exploring story after story related to crisis pregnancy and abortion and brokenness and the most incredible redemption. This issue is so important to me personally because I myself was rescued from abortion. And it was because of those who were willing to lift up their voices to speak on behalf of those who could not speak for themselves that I myself was saved, and my mother along with me. I'm a part of a ministry called Mafia Ministries. When I came into the Seventh-day Adventist Church after studying for a period of time. I was raised a Christian and knew the Lord, but as I began studying the Seventh-day Adventist doctrines, I saw a truth there that I had not known previously. I absolutely fell in love with this church. I fell in love with its teaching. I fell in love with their love for the Lord. I fell in love with the way that they really sought Him and wanted to honor them with their lives. The more that I became familiar, though, with church doctrine, I was saddened by a silence that surrounded this issue of abortion. The Seventh-day Adventist Church has been given so much truth, so much light, and to be the standard bearer in so many areas. And my heart was to see this church, our church, be the standard bearer in every way, especially on an issue as critical as this one that speaks about us being made in the image of the Lord, of us literally bearing His likeness. When I came across this silence, I was moved to do something about it. I had actually encountered a woman who I happened to have a very providential conversation with her, and she said, "You know what? You don't do nothing. You join, you become a part of this, and you seek to change it." And so around January, early 2011, the Mafia Ministries began. Mafia is a Hebrew word for intercessor. It comes from the verse Isaiah 59:16. We are committed as a ministry to interceding for the value, for the sanctity of human life from our very beginning, from conception until natural death. But we're also committed to interceding for reconciliation and redemption for women and men who have experienced the tragedy of an abortion. It's not a ministry where it's only concerned with the value of the child or only concerned with the value of the mother. The Lord holds all of us equally valuable, and He wants all of us to esteem the other as being equally valuable. And so we're very much seeking to reach everyone involved in this situation, especially in the midst of a crisis pregnancy. In this series, you are going to hear the most incredible testimonies of pain, of shame, of brokenness, of women hiding the crisis pregnancy, of women needing to experiencing all sorts of self-loathing and self-hatred as a result of their abortion experiences. You're going to hear from men who can tell you that they experience shame, they experience self-hatred, they experience suicidal thoughts over not being able to stop the abortion that was taking place. You will hear of their own struggle. You'll hear from parents whose daughter became pregnant. And what do they do because they're in pastoral ministry? How are they going to survive in the situation that they're in? And they're so concerned with what other people are thinking. You're going to hear so many stories that are raw, they're gritty, they're vulnerable, and they are so desperately needed to be told. Because the reality is, we are made in the image of the Lord. That is simply true. You, listening to me today, you were created with purpose. You were created with destiny. And it's a purpose and a destiny that you alone can fill. You possess intrinsic value, eternal significance. These things are so fundamental to who you are that they cannot be diminished and they will never be destroyed. You are not valuable because of what you do or what you've achieved or what you possess. You're not valuable because of how intelligent you are or how wealthy you are or the kind of influence you have. You're valuable because you were made in the image of the Lord. And the Lord is asking us to live in that place. He's asking us to live with that kind of humility, to acknowledge the fact that we are valuable because of Him. It's Him and Him alone who established our value through creation. He established our value. He fortified it forevermore at the cross. And it's something that no one and nothing will ever be able to take away. Abortion is a thing that cannot be undone. That's simply true. You can't undo an abortion. You can't roll back the clock. You can't turn back the hands of time. And if we're not willing to speak light into that darkness, where are men and women who have experienced the tragedy of an abortion? Where are they going to go? One of the first times as a part of the Mafia ministry, when I founded it in early 2011, I later met my partner, Diane Wagner, who is now my partner in the Mafia ministry, and she invited me to come and speak to various groups of people. And in one of the first groups of women I ever spoke to, there was a woman who confessed in this group of people who she knew, but none of them knew that she had had an abortion. And she confessed that the enemy of her soul, the evil one of the things he attacks her with is the reason your children don't believe in the Lord is because you had an abortion. Think of that. Think of the weight of that condemnation. What is she going to do? She's not going to run to the Lord. She's not going to run to the one who she thinks condemns her. So what does she do? Well, she tries to fill herself up. She tries to make it okay. She pays penance in 100 different ways, seeking to right a wrong that can never be righted outside of the cross. And if we are not speaking into that place, if we are not speaking into that darkness, there is nowhere that she has to go, nowhere that's going to set her free, nowhere that's going to be life-giving and redemptive. This is something the Lord has given us to do as individuals, has given us to do as believers. We're not saved because we've never sinned. We're not saved because we were always perfect. We're not saved because we've never done anything wrong. We are saved by faith in Christ alone. We're saved because we're covered by the blood of the Lamb. That is hope. Abortion is a thing that cannot be undone, but that is not the end of the story. The end of the story is the cross, if we will allow it to be. And the story of the cross is the story of redemption. That is what we have the opportunity to give the world. That's what we have the opportunity to give men and women, young and old, pastors and lay people. That's what we have a calling to do. The question is, will we do it? The stories that you're going to hear this week are so incredibly critical because they prove this need. They prove the way that this issue has affected us as individuals, the way it's affected us as a church, the way it's affected us in society and in culture. Women have been made to suffer in silence, and so too have men. And will we be a people who say, you know what? Women deserve better than abortion. Men deserve better than abortion. The unborn deserves better than abortion. And we, as individuals, we as a church will get into the trenches with these people in crisis pregnancy. We won't reject them. We won't throw them, toss them to the side, or toss them in a corner and say, this is too shameful to deal with. We will be willing to go to uncomfortable places, to have uncomfortable conversations so that the captive can be set free. The Lord is calling us to worship Him. There's a verse in Revelation that says, worship Him who made earth and sun and sky. And I could say, and you. Worship the one who made you. Do you realize that you were literally brought into existence by the hand of the Lord? Do you realize that His finger literally brought you into existence? It crafted you, it designed you. There's nothing about you that is accidental. You originated in the Lord's mind. As one author said, you were His idea. And He put you here at this time in the earth's history. There is such incredible purpose to you, and it has existed from your beginning, from your very first moments when the Lord created you and brought you into existence. The purpose and destiny in your life was there. Well, you know what? It was also there for every other human being who has ever existed. It was there for the unborn. The value that they possess, the purpose that the Lord has written into and onto their life, it has existed from their very beginning. Will we choose to worship the Lord not only as our Creator, but as the Creator of every human being who ever was and ever will be? Will we choose to say yes to the Lord in this way? There are countless men and women who are desperate to believe that the grace of the Lord is sufficient for them because they have abortion in their past. There are countless men and women who are in the midst, the crucible of the crisis pregnancy, and they're desperate to believe that the Lord is for them, that He's not set against them, that they haven't failed so completely in winding up in this situation that He's rejected them. They're desperate to believe what is true. But who is going to tell them? That's you. That's me. That's us. Will we do it? Will we take the hand of the Lord? Will we walk side by side with divinity and say, yes, I choose to believe what you have said about my value. I choose to believe what you have said about the redemption that is available for me. And I choose to believe in the value you have written into the life of every single human being. Say yes.